It's Kelly Marie Alvarez here from Lawn Fawn with a video for Sign & Says Stamp, and today we're going to be using Lawn Fawn sets Our Friendship Grows and Summertime Charm, and we're going to be inking up this fun jar from Summertime Charm and showing how it's really great for a fall card too. Our Friendship Grows has some awesome sunflowers that I just love, so I went ahead and stamped out 3 of them, and now I'll add some quick color. I'm going to layer the lightest color down first, and then add a medium yellow, just like that. And then I'm blending that medium yellow into the lighter yellow with the lightest color. Now it's my 3rd darkest yellow, which I'm layering there all along the bottom. I'll use my medium yellow to blend that dark yellow in, and then the lightest yellow to blend the rest of that and fill in the tops of the leaves with that beautiful light color. Now it's time to color the center of the flower, and I'm going to do the same idea with light to medium and then dark to medium and then back to the light again just to blend it all in. Now it's time to use the coordinating dies. I love these dies because cutting these flowers out would take forever, and the dies make it so much easier to use. I like to use some low-tack tape like washi tape or painter's tape to hold my dies in place for when they go through my die cutting machine. And I just love that little white border that the dies leave around the stamped images. I think it looks so nice. Next up, I'm going to use Lawn Fawn's new Into the Woods paper pad. As you can see, mine is already very well loved. And I'm going to create kind of a little background there and then also a little table for the jar to sit on. And the next step is to start creating the stems. Now this set has 2 short little stems, but I want some really long ones to go in the jar. So I'm going to go ahead and place this stamp on my block. I'm going to curve it slightly on the block, which is one of my favorite parts of clear stamps, is you can manipulate them to work perfectly for what you're doing, because I want some of the flowers off to the side, so it's really going to help with that look. Now I'm going to straighten that stem back out and continue to stamp it to create a really long stem to fit in my jar. Next up, I am going to bend the little stem here the other direction for the other small flower on the other side and continue stamping my fun long stems. I'm going to add some quick color to the stems and then cut them out with a nice little white border. Next up, I'm going to use some StazOn ink on some vellum cardstock. And the reason I am using StazOn is because vellum can be kind of a slick surface, and I want to make sure my ink doesn't smear, so StazOn is going to stay on. I'm also using my Fiskars stamp press because sometimes I find when I use a block that I'll kind of smear it since it's such a slick surface. So when I use the stamp press, I can go down really slowly and get a really nice clean image. And then I will cut my jar out, cutting off the lid so that it's only going to cover kind of the glass part of the jar. So you can see there how it's going to add a really cool look over the jar. I really want it to look like these sunflowers are coming out of the jar, so I'm using a craft knife to cut a slit at the top of the jar lid and at the bottom of the jar lid too. That way I can take my stems and thread them through those 2 holes, and it really does look like it's coming out of the jar. Here I'm just going to glue the base of where my jar is going to go, kind of my little wood grain table there, onto my card base, assembling everything together. I'm going to thread through all of my long stems. Once I position my flowers, I can start trimming off the stems for the perfect length for my jar. It kind of makes me feel like I'm actually arranging flowers. Another little snip, and I'm ready to start gluing down all of my stems. Next up, I'm taking a smiley set from Lawn Fawn set Sunny Skies, and I'm going to stamp it on the flower. And I got this idea from Lawn Fawn's design team member, Elena, and she did that, and I thought it was the cutest thing, and I couldn't wait to make a card with some smiley faces. So I added some smiley faces, and now I'm just going ahead and curling up all the little petals there just for some extra dimension. And I'm going to do it on all of the flowers. And of course, the smaller sunflowers need some smiley faces too. And I'm adhering everything down with some foam adhesive for even more dimension. Want it to look like there's water in the jar, so I'm just using a blue marker and coloring in on that little vellum piece to really make it look like a real jar. I just love how it looks once you layer it over the stems. I'm using this really awesome vellum adhesive from Thermoweb. I just love it because you cannot see the adhesive at all when you lay it down, which is really cool. I'm going to stamp out some of the leaves from this set and add some fun and easy quick coloring to them. It's time to use these awesome coordinating dies again, and then I'm going to curl up all of the little edges just like I did with the sunflower die cuts. Now that I have a ton of leaves cut out, I'm going to go ahead and adhere them both behind the sunflowers and in front of the sunflowers too, just for some really cool dimension. I have a nice little orange piece of pattern paper from the Into the Woods collection, and I punched a cute little scallop border, and now I'm trimming it down so that it's really thin so that I can glue it right there on my cute little wood grain table. I stamped out the label from the Summertime Charm set, and then I colored it with a Copic and then stamped over it with Lawn Fawn's wood grain backdrop set just for a little extra, really subtle texture on there. I love this Thanks sentiment from the Summertime Charm set, and it is the perfect addition to my jar there. And because every card is even happier with a little bit of glitter, I'm using one of the Wink of Stella glitter pens in clear, and I'm doing it on the petals, on the leaves, on the jar label, and on that cute little scallop border. And you can see just how sparkly and pretty that looks. I wanted to add one final touch, and so I'm going to use Lawn Fawn's Gold Sparkle Lawn Trimmings to tie a cute bow around the lid of this jar. So I just threaded it behind the jar. I should have done this before I adhered it, but you know, you look at it, you want to add a little extra something, so I thought the bow would be really cute. And to tie it all together, I'm going to put a little string there right along that orange scalloped border. I just love how it turned out, super sparkly and happy. So thank you guys so much for watching, and I hope you have an amazing day. Bye!